matter the context, and maybe in part because of the lack of context, I've always gotten a really bad feeling from old photographs of a bright flash that fades off to nothing in the background. Hello everyone, and welcome to ROAM0120. What I can only describe as like a photo album horror game. Our goal is basically to figure out what this game is even about, at least to start with. I don't know what it is, looking at a photo, staring into the dark, wondering what the photographer's intention was, gives me the same or even greater of a sense of anticipation than being there myself. I don't know, it's just such an intriguing premise, and a bunch of you were begging me to play it, so I can't wait to see what this is. And maybe we'll get at least a little bit of context from the itch.io page? I shouldn't release this file. I hope I won't get into any trouble. All photographs were taken by me, on 2 separate days, several years apart. My memory is rocky, so I'm not sure about the validity of all the elements shown here. This program was made entirely by me. A few images were found by Baptiste H., an old friend of mine. You can download it for free by putting 0 as the price. I might update this file in the future as I recollect some memories. So there may be some ARG elements to this as well. Although I suppose that's inherent since we're using real photos. I'm not sure if we should be doing this right away, but if we have a look in the game's install directory, there's actually a number of JPEG and PNG files included with the exe. Cold. Looks like a starry night sky. Or a pair of glowing eyes staring at me. Then again, just looking up, how would you know the difference? Image 4363. A dead tree against the sky. Return. Looks like the basement of an abandoned building. And those look like reflections, but I can't help but be reminded of the bright stars we just saw. Shift. An old coat hanger on the floor. Unused. And these are like full-sized images too, almost like they're right off the camera. And well... Wait, look, there's something there! There's a map drawn onto the image. Okay. So, let's start the application. I may have jumped the gun a bit there. Oh, you've included sound effects. Okay, we're gonna have some atmosphere then. You know, in a way, this sort of reminds me of what old, like, Flash games would do. Probably indicating that we can go this way? Ah, so they've been put together in, like, the adventure game style. Kinda spooked by that change in ambiance. An old shed or garage. Use the arrows to change the camera angle. So it'll tell us when we can move in a circle. I'm just scanning over every inch. There's like a half wall here that we could potentially see over. In fact, we can go there. I can hear rustling in the bushes. Dude, I'm just looking at a photo album, jeez. We can go that way off into the woods. We can see all the dust being caught in the flash. You know what it is? I think I associate the flash with, like, crime photos. I don't know, it always makes me feel like I'm looking at something horrible and I only have to find it. There's something on the ground there. Don't go in, hide the keys in a bush. What do you mean? Okay, so it is, like, fully interactive. I can go back this way. Okay, but what we want is these angles through here. Look, there's a little map up there. Okay, so this is much more of an adventure game than I thought it was going to be. A basketball. It's slightly deflated. The smell is unbearable, and it looks weirdly out of place. I should make something like this out of one of my Urbex trips. That would be really cool, being able to like click on and examine things in the environment with a little description. That keeps us oriented more than anything. Okay, so those squares represent the garden patches. Dude, that is so... I'm telling you, the flash up against the tree line, but nothing but pitch darkness in the back while we can hear the wind. I can feel this image. Looking back the other way. Listen closely. A drawing of a shadowy figure by a tree. The way their neck is twisted, it almost looks like somebody erased the rope. Is there anywhere else we can go? Well, now I'm listening more intently than ever. Hide the key in a bush. So let's start mousing over bushes. Wait, we can check out over here too. The door is locked. You're getting lost, aren't you? I am. I'm looking for a bush I can click on. It's speaking to me directly. Like, this whole area is acting like I can do something, but I can't. Oh, we can come over here. Eru password. Do not enter if he's around. Okay, well, let's print screen that. Come in here as well. W21. Private property, no entry. Well, too late. Question is, what is the photographer doing here? Oh my. Everything I just said about the flash, well, it's so much worse going down a hall. And even worse when I can see out that doorway there. Oh man. Wait. I found a key. Well, I guess it's next to a bush, technically. Pieces of strings and cords and wires. You're not allowed to see that. See, once more, here's where the separation comes in. Here's where it reminds us that we're not supposed to be here right now. We're just looking through photos. They've just been displayed to us with presentation. But it kind of makes us wonder about the author. A bunch of used gardening tools. The smell is unbearable. Nails and screws and bolts. Okay, well, we've got the garage key. And nothing much here. Wait. Oh, this leads out onto the garden. I wasn't even aware we could go this way. Just heard a rustling. Alright, where's that garage? Right there. Got the key. I am so unbelievably tense right now. Okay, we can look there. A bunch of old files and notebooks. A backpack and leaf blower. Okay. I found a lock of Carol's hair. I feel like I've done something I wasn't supposed to. Wait, there's something down here. It's often so hard to tell where I can look. I found some kind of electronic device. It just goes in as 3 question marks. You can look over here. A rifle. Looks like a real one. The magazine is missing. And there's that password again. I've tried just like putting it in, but didn't seem to do anything in the moment. Tried it a couple of different ways too. Maybe there can be something more in the garden? I guess not. Oh, there is something here. You are deeply unsettled by what you dug. You decided to let it there where you found it. Censored from the player's eyes. This feels like the kind of thing you find on a flash drive in a field in a creepypasta. Hang on. I'm just trying to see if anything has changed further back, because, you know, a key is one thing. A lock of Carol's hair doesn't really give me very much to go on. Pieces of recently rotted meat wrapped in cloth. It smells awful. It all looks so mundane, yet there's so much awful hidden here. We're back in here now. We never did look left. You're not allowed to see that. Can't see the license plate either. Nothing much I can see, is there? It seems like items will be used automatically if we have the opportunity. Oh, we can look over here into the bushes to find a key. Let's just back out slowly. Ah, right there. We're in the building. Now might be a good time to go ahead and paste that screenshot into Paint. We were warned. And you know, the way this game uses its ambient sounds is great, because it unsettles us from the start by that heavy, oppressive atmosphere outside. And now that we're in, it feels simultaneously like we're safer, like we're more sheltered, and that we're stepping into the belly of the beast. You feel a bit weak. Your head hurts. Despite your glaring discomfort, you decide to open the door anyway. Just more garage. There's doors there and there. A dark, moldy basement. It seems to be a control for a boiler, but it doesn't look like I can turn it on or off. Ah, this is what we use the password for. But presumably not right now. There's mold all over the walls. A significant amount of mold. Its smell is unique. I don't want to be here. I feel like something's gonna come straight up to the window, even if I know it's just a photograph, and even if I know I can't see anything because of the flash. I can't help but be reminded of old Flash games like Ex Mortis. More mold. I don't see anything interactive. Well, AT. It says AT right. Something's happening. I wasn't sure if I should just wait for that to pass. Okay, I'm gonna have to slow that down in editing later to find out what was going on. There was text on the bottom of the screen and maybe an image flashing. So I think our character is a bit unwell. ATW warning, AT program. The electronic devices in this room emit level 9.3 AT waves. Exposure to AT waves above level 7 can cause dangerous side effects. Intense headaches, increased blood pressure, irrational increases in anxiety/panic attacks, delirious behavior, unwanted thoughts, hallucinations, shock. And the rest has been censored. That's an explanation without being an explanation. Actually, it raises a lot more questions. Huh. It's kind of interesting that I saw that second, because it's a different experience whether you're warned first and then it happens, or whether it happens and then you're warned. In my case, something terrifying happened, and then it was sort of chalked up to something scientific, I guess, but it's not exactly a satisfactory answer. So it is a proper house. A bottle filled with urine. Unused wires. Look at how warped the walls are. We did find a key in the ruins. God, these places are so melty. This reminds me so much of a place I've explored before. Wait, hang on, I'm not done here. Arrow. Bunch of rusty kitchen utensils. I can't quite read that. I'm not sure if those are supposed to be missing boards or if it's actually censoring things from me still. A whole bunch of outlets at weird places along the wall. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like there's anything I can do here right now. Looks like there's a lighter on the floor there. The bin is empty. Alright, let's move forward. That looks like a crib. Containing an old hat and some kind of device. It went on for as long as I let it. An old baby monitor. We can see through the gap. I'm just waiting for something to peek through. 38. A bunch more markings I can't really make out. It seems that we do keep items that we've already used. Through the hole in the garbage bag, you can see that the head has been crushed beyond recognition. The smell is unbearable. God, that was brilliant. We walk in here, and we learn when we examine it that there's a corpse, and obscuring that from our view is bad enough. But at first, on the full perspective of the room, it looks a lot like there's something standing there. Power box. Oh my god, did you hear that? It sounded like something just tapped on my friggin' window right as I touched that. 3 rapid taps. I have no idea what that even would have been. It's covered right now. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, we did that. I guess that's all there is to it. Okay, yeah, I guess that's it. There's a staircase up there. Not only did that startle the crap out of me, I couldn't understand a word. The idea of sound after so long just echoing off these concrete walls, or cinder blocks even. What kind of place even is this? More mold. Yeah, there's really nothing we can do here. I've got a rusty key, and I'm somewhat afraid to use it. It's almost like the game itself is coming to you in the camera flashes. We're not even supposed to be the person that's here, yet there's so much mystery to why it's been put together this way. I mean, the author claims to have been the one that took the pictures. But everything about this is... Well, it's just got a way of getting you to lock in. Because it's able to feel simultaneously like we are moving through this spooky environment, and like we're sitting at our computer examining evidence. And even like the small like box size of the image in the middle of the screen with the black borders, I don't know, it's like stepping back from it, like having an out-of-body experience or a dream that we barely remember. But part of us knows where it ends up, and it's horrible. Nothing behind the door frame, although I've played enough Home Safety Hotline to be concerned by it. $46 plus 5, and something I can't make out beneath. There's nothing. A lot of loosely labeled DV tapes. Some kind of graph explaining something. Some scribbles on old paper. Seemingly nonsensical blueprints for mysterious machines. Is this the live-action remake of Submachine? Which I have started recording, but you'll probably see this long before that. worst part of the Flash is that you can clearly see what's in front of you, and everything else is an unnatural shadow. There's nothing here. Well, nothing but an old typewriter. And a whole lot of dusty old plastic sheets. Oh, look, there's an overhang here. See, this reminds me of, like, an old rec center that I explored once. I mean, it's got, like, entertainment stuff everywhere, gym equipment. You found a wire coat hanger. Wait, wasn't one of the images... It wasn't this coat hanger, but one of the images was of a coat hanger in a shelf or somewhere. Okay, what do we use this for? There's a badminton birdie. Small, unimportant objects. And something on the ground you don't want me to see. Look at this, like, depending on the angle, it may even, like, intersect with the borders. Almost like the borders themselves are intruding on the image. For that reason, sometimes I almost don't even register these things at first. We can go up even further into the attic. Something you should probably overlook. You could totally do like a nightmare, creepy version of I Spy. More writing along the walls. Nonsensical phrases written all over the walls. Classical sheet music. Just combing all over, looking for anything I can interact with. The ceiling goes up there, like into the attic. Everything is broken. Yeah, you're telling me. And there's something being censored over here as well, like labels maybe? What is all that? We call him the Dweller. Do not move if you meet him. They mostly left because of him. Excuse me, where are you reading that? The Dweller. And who's they? Does that explain this place's abandonment? Also, every light that we've come across, they all hang down at the same weird angle. Sorry, I'm very interested in these things. They have like that sort of fuzzy texture of a pillow. Okay, I guess we're going upstairs then. This game really knows how to capture wordlessly the feeling of, I really don't want to. Please. It was like focused on these reflections here, like something crawling, hiding in the dark. But the photographer ignored, and so too must we. Looks like the casing of a light fixture. Can we give you guys some of Carol's hair? God, we can't even tell what's over there. Just that it's got those same bright formations like we saw in some of the pictures in the directory. Also, you guys should totally release an album just for that cover alone. Alright, let's back downstairs and figure out what it is we're doing. Disturbing, nonsensical sentences written frantically on the walls. Yet what is it that makes these have to be censored? There are also graphic drawings of two unrelated sets of coordinates. See, even when you tell us what's there, it's like, why? What is it about those simple things that you couldn't show us? Especially given some of what you are showing us, like that drawing on the wall. And there's something censored beside it as well. It's the kind of thing where not only is it creepy on its own, but you start comparing it to other things that weren't censored, and you start to wonder what the logic is. CA999? Absolutely depraved and utterly offensive. I'm starting to wonder if, while exploring the abandoned place, they didn't just have to cover some graffiti that doesn't really fit with the game. If so, this is a creative way of doing it.
So, thinking about psychosis, we can think about some of the experiences, first of all, that characterize psychosis. One of the very common experiences are experiences of paranoia. So thoughts of suspiciousness, paranoia, often unfounded, that somebody or people or organizations are trying to harm you or trick you or hurt you. But think about it for a moment. Think about it. You're on holiday. You're lost. You find yourself in a dark street. You're looking for someone to help you. The only people that you can see are these people who maybe look very shady and very untrustworthy and very dangerous. It kind of makes sense in that context to be paranoid.
That seems more like an endorsement of paranoid delusions. Now it's those shelves I'm interested in. Well, look, if we go all the way back, we did mess with the power, didn't we? Actually, wait, did we ever... Look to the right, we did not. Lots of cassettes of old children's cartoons. I left it on for a little longer because it sounded like it might have been building to something. No idea as to what this might be. Dusty chest. Look at all this. Man, there's so much left behind. From an urbex perspective, I'm loving this. Flowers drawn by children on the walls. Pieces of cloth. I found a hook. Although what I would use it for, I'm not quite sure. It looks like it's too cluttered for me to progress into much more. I'm seeing a door at the back, though. Dude, this is a golden concept for a game, I must say. Oh wait, we could look into this corner a little bit. Dossier. You find an enormous amount of files that you don't understand at all. Here are some examples. Looks like instructions for equipment. Editorial. But other than that, nothing of use. I have an enormous number of things found, and nothing to do with them. Oh, hey, here's a different angle. There's nothing for us to mess with. And what a weird place. We could look this way. Just looks like pieces of a counter or something. Once more. Oh, wait, there's something here. Ah, that's for the machine downstairs. Okay, that's gonna be down, up, 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 right, left, up, down, up, left, down, right. Yes. I found the cache. But no idea what's in said cache. And, for that matter, any idea what to do with it. Wait, press C to use cache. I do it right here. Wait, does that say ERA? 51627. I don't know what this means. Maybe I can use it elsewhere also? OF is 2, ERA 7. Or maybe that's 5 out of 6? That's either 516 or 5/6. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is 1 of 6. Oh my god! I was looking away for a long time and I just turned back and I'm trying to get a pencil and paper. I have no idea when that happened. Put it away. Put it back. Alright. It knew I was gonna go do something. It did it again, and this time it stopped the second I touched the mouse. Maybe it did before as well, I don't know. The lesson of this, the moral of the story, is that it's so friggin' hard to find loose leaf in this room. Okay. See? Okay. That's gonna be 138. I've just got to find more instances. And they are everywhere. God, even the sound of the door latching got me that time. It's going to be anywhere we were able to examine the writing on the walls. Not everywhere is quite important. Right here. 3 out of 6 just says E. Ah, look at this. We can use the coat hanger and the hook here. Giving us access to the basement. And apparently somebody just ran into a bad situation in Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh no, I thought that was the sound of like a generator powering down or something, and then it continued to rise up again. That's a ghostly chorus. We don't have to go through this door. Just about everything is sealed off. Plastic on the doors. This place is crumbling. Use an old key, I guess. You cut the electricity. The door is locked. It's the kind of thing where you feel like you don't want to touch the sides. Door's locked. And once more, the flash creates a sense of anticipation as if you're there. Door's locked. There's not going to be anything for us here, is there? All your lights go off. You're not allowed to see in the corridor. Every movement feels sluggish. Your head hurts. Oh, no. I just want to click as quickly as possible. The only thing changing is the noise pattern. Okay, thank you. Much obliged. The sound is so directional. I can hear something echoing on the right, dripping water on the left. And once more, here's where this medium comes into play. It's only the noise pattern that's changing. It's taking advantage of a type of scare you couldn't do otherwise. Like, this obviously doesn't work if we're, like, WASD controlling in 3D space. How long is this corridor? Either way, we should have long since moved beyond the bounds of this place, right? Huh. And if we want to go back, we've got to do the exact same thing. You use something. Wait. Recorded activity from the boy. All meant for broadcasting. Last entry is from 2020. There were so many others in the building, but they all perished. And you're certain that there are so many other buildings. You claim it was Carol's hair, but you'll never be certain. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my memories. It makes me really unreliable. Why did I not recognize the boy? The picture I posted. I was the one who took it. Why did it feel so foreign? Why was I unable to recognize it? I think the program is targeting me personally. Blasting me with waves, hoping the confusion will make me kill myself. Sometimes it's hard not to give in. It's hard to witness my own decline. It's hard coming back to my apartment and see it ransacked, with files on my computer missing. I know they think I'm psychotic, because I truly am acting psychotic. And that makes me an unreliable narrator. It's exactly what they want. Someone who can never be trusted. It's the perfect plan. I made a fool of myself. A lot of respectable people trusted me. Why do I forget so much? Why do I forget so much? But the photos are forever. If they keep blasting me, I'll end up just like him. So you believe this is part of a plot to make you seem insane, to take away your credibility. But then again, that's also paranoia, so who do we believe? You said it yourself, you're an unreliable narrator. There's nothing else for me to click on, it seems like. What else is there to do? And who is the boy? We saw reference just before we were taken here. Oh, wait. We're back. There is nothing. A whole lot of nothing right in front of you. We were here already. Now, when you say they keep blasting you, do you mean with whatever we were exposed to in this room, or at least what it said? If we go back in... it's the same thing. And it takes a real long time to get through. The sounds remain unceasing. There we go. Nothing from the phone. This time, let's rush moving forward. Oh my god! The game just closed out. Something really doesn't want me going down there. What happens if I relaunch it? Back to the beginning. Back to the beginning with nothing! Okay, this time we're not going to kill the power. Look, so if we go into here now, maybe this will just work. Ah, unlock all doors, lock all doors. Lock corridor. Okay. Well, I guess that did something. Door's locked. Liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. A small closet where you find a bottle. But it seems like everything has its place, and there's a big gap here. Oh my god! Hey, you! Like, I can kind of speed run through it at that point, but it's just tedious. Oh my god. I can leave. I can always just leave. So do certain things only have like a random chance of happening? Or is it the order? The order in which I do things? I don't know, but I'm backing straight out. Why is this here? Wait, excuse me! There are things we have to click many times in order to get something? Well, we found paint. Shh. You shush! Got the bottle. Still locked. Should I try locking all doors? I don't even know. Or what if I try moving... Wait. Maybe that doesn't even correspond to anything there. Maybe it is just like this little mini game. What if I try going through the bottom one then? I couldn't do anything. I had no ability to select anything. Lock corridor. But my thing is gone. I know why. I'm not controlling it. I'm letting something out, and that's what grabbed me last time. Does that mean that this run is screwed? Yep, there you are. Headphones off. You'll find me wherever. I really can't say it adds to the experience, having to just like rapidly click through everything in the beginning here. What if I try just typing the password right here, like without a screen prompt? Up, down, right, right, right. Up, down, right, right, right. There we go. Okay, we had to do it on here without a prompt. Okay, so it doesn't actually have to correspond to anything within the game. It can just be there. Alright, AT waves amount. We presumably want to reduce that. Boy room temperature. Okay, well maybe we'll have to figure out what that should be optimally. AT waves, presumably we want that to be 0, right? There we go. Maybe that means that now we can enter that other room? Okay, if I... hang on, wait. Let's verify that that stayed. Up, down, right, right, right. Enter left. It did. Alright, let's go see about that then. Maybe now... See, here's the thing. Maybe we were doomed from the start after we entered that room and got blasted. Maybe now we'll be okay. Maybe that makes a difference. Yeah, it says AT right there. Something's starting to happen. Thing is, like, I know where to find everything now, so it only takes me a couple minutes to speed through all this, but I don't know... I watched a gameplay video of somebody doing that section with the hallway, and it seems like I was right. You are supposed to open all doors and then immediately close it, but it showed theirs moving a lot more slowly. So I don't know if what we just did will influence that or what. We know not to turn off the power. That kills so many opportunities, even if everything else in the game doesn't really act like the power's off. Get the hanger. Let's try it now. Maybe lowering AT levels did something. Unlock all doors. You're moving more slowly now. Lock corridor. There we go. So that AT level, that is so important to everything here, and maybe it does play into the fact that something is affecting us. Maybe deliberately. Maybe they really are trying to discredit us. It's an insanity ray. Effectively. So you've been put away. We talked about not recognizing the boy. It talked about the boy room. Wonder what that means. In any case, we know how to do that now. Does that mean that now we can unlock all doors? Will everything be okay? This is all abstracted. First of all, I talked earlier about how I like the idea of the horror in being somewhat separated from what we're seeing. But even here it's doing it, because we're seeing something be released by our action. we have no idea what it is until it's right up on us, until we hear it running up on us, which is a pretty brilliant scare. As for the rest of it, I can't leave now. There we go. Had to press escape. That sort of looked like the cloak of something standing right there. I had a flashback to Hell House LLC. But all things should be open now. You feel an electric shock when you touch the doorknob. Okay, we're doing this once more. Maybe we'll be okay to stay here now. A meaty, horrifying substance. It moves as if it's breathing. Stairs. You say stairs, a photo of stairs, but we can't actually move to them. Just ever so slightly more off-kilter angles as we approach. Something about the granularity of the approach is setting me on edge. Will it do the same thing once more? This time we actually make it through. Evidence. We got an empty bowl. Like empty wine racks. This hammer counts as evidence, which we now have. But there's... It's crazy. It's an empty, empty room. And in the few places where there's something, we're not allowed to see it. It's the same as in that one empty court. You thought there was supposed to be a wall here when you saw the videos. But instead, there's another corridor, even longer than the previous one. It's a tunnel, and it stretches for miles, as if it had been dug by hand for years. I wish we could have gone further before the whole building collapsed. You're reciting all of this as if from memory, like you knew of this place before. I wish it all led to something. I wish what we did mattered. I wish we could have saved him. I wish we could have saved anyone. We ended up dissolving the group after this tragedy, but I haven't given up. Nobody will ever know about the AT program and AT Connect. I lost my mind in the process. You should have seen this tunnel. It stretched for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. I'm so sorry. So there was something larger going on here. An attempt to rescue someone that failed. More evidence. We got a TV remote. Wait, we saw a TV somewhere, didn't we? We can use the cache here as well. 4 of 6, 46. Clever. L. Now it says L. That wasn't there before. Let's try actually pressing L. A gate opened upstairs. Okay. Maybe we don't want to linger on that for too long. Nope, let me through. Gate opened upstairs. Where? Not in this room. Over there in the wall? There's a TV over here. Don't see where that would be. Everything's still broken. Oh, we can look down into the court from here. And use the cache from here, but what will that reveal? 6-6, YTB. Well, that's all of them then. Bunch of old cigarette butts at the table here, but it doesn't seem like anything interactive. What's cool about the abandoned setting is that it really does feel like we're combing through somebody's vague memories. And part of the brilliance of using like a real environment for this is that it actually feels like dirty. The smell of the place comes across. It makes it feel real, but again, we didn't experience this, so it kind of feels like we're not supposed to. This over here was kind of weird to me before. Hello? Okay, we couldn't see it until we got close. Thanks, game. A way out? That looks like a grave. Also, I just realized this is the image that served as the background to the itch.io page. Look, we're focusing on the grass in front of us and the dust in the air, leaving the rest a blurry, dreamlike haze. We're just wandering, one place at a time. Along a wall. A disturbingly bare wall. Oh no, 47-3S. 47-3S. It looked like an empty, like, drug capsule or something. Like a packet for pills. Alright, let's write that down. 47-3S. Well, one of the answers to the cache was 46. I mean, maybe the boy room temperature has to be 47? About AT waves, it goes as high as 11. What if we do 47-3? And what does this button do? Have we ever seen what this button does? Shock Sen! Shock Sen! Have I just used like a torture device or something? S-Shock maybe? What did... It doesn't seem to have done anything. Oh my god! Oh god, you don't know how many more there are. You're only scratching the surface. You made promises you couldn't keep. Now it's all Jelena. It's all Jelena. Drown in your sorrows. I'm drowning in something. And get lost inside my gaze. I'm not even clicking anything, I'm just letting this play out. Alright, this is looping. Click. Oh, when I click, you blink. And sometimes just your irises. I can drag your eyes shut. We've been brought back outside. Dude, that is so cool. You have no idea how many more there are, you said. It feels like we're just scratching the surface. Tell me then, is there perhaps something more for us to find out here? Maybe we shouldn't go back in, I'm not sure. Wait, I just realized we got the medication when we did that other thing, but we got garden tools. So maybe we can do something out there. Wait, let's... Password? What do you mean password? Wait, were you just telling me to go to the garden tools? Hang on. No. Hang on, let's see, what do we have? ERA. And now you want 3 digits. ERA and YTB. But none of that is working. Oh, wait. W21, we saw that earlier. Can we... Wait, can we input numbers as well? W21? No, we can't. So I once more looked somebody up to see what they did here, to see what the logic was. Now go and fry your brain. It has to be lowercase. It has to be lowercase. Thank you. God, but anyway, we got a fryer. A fryer for frying our brain? Question then is, where do we use it? Well, one place we had our brain fried was in the boiler room. Oh, we can come back here. You find a single USB key with February 20th, 2018 written on it. You really shouldn't keep it. Okay, what about February 20th, 2018? I'm actually surprised at how recent all of this is meant to be, because, I mean, it looks like really early 2000s, like early digital. I'm having a look at the images in the directory to see if there's any help here. And I don't remember if I voiced it, but it seems my earlier thought was correct. It was the boy that we were releasing here. And sent to the stairs. So maybe that was a good thing, maybe that was a bad thing. Either way, it enabled us to get this far. But I'm starting to get pretty fed up with this. Like, this is why I don't really have an interest in ARGs, is because when they take a game form, they don't make for a good individual experience. Alright, I'm gonna level with you. I have known what to do for a long, long time. And I've been trying, because every time I look something up in a game, I try to figure out how you get to that information. Because I want to show you everything. Now, apparently, as I suspected, the information that we got from these caches is supposed to basically form into a link that would take us to a video that would tell us what to do right here. I have tried a million different combinations. I've been all over Reddit. I've looked everywhere. There is no information on how to actually access this. All these threads are in, like, French or German. It's created by a French YouTuber, so it makes sense that all the discussion would be in French. But... this is why I can't stand ARGs, is because you just end up with these brick walls that you end up relying on the community to solve. It's part of a worrying trend where so many games, to some degree or another, are designed not to be played, but to be talked about. But anyway, what we have to do here is type on our keyboard, "They fled the scene." Okay, maybe we do it all as one. Fled the scene. I'll take that as my sign that we've done something. Now what's next has something to do with what's in here. Once more, I am only reading as much as is needed at any given moment. Okay, I guess that was part of it. What about the other one? No? Okay, that doesn't change. We don't get access to it. Okay, clicking the cigarettes did something. Wait, I can mouse over this. Wait, what? Has that always been the case? Judging by the sound, I'm guessing not. Wait. Can't go back that way? Oh my god! I think there's somebody up there. I don't think you were there before. I can click on you. Your face is like blacked out, but you're wearing like a suit and tie. Oh my... And now you're wearing nothing because you're gone. I'm gonna be so annoyed if I find out this thing has been leaving like stuff on my desktop the entire time, but no, it hasn't, because let's be real, I've been tabbed out more than I've been in. I still can't leave though. Oh, we have to back forward to back out to back in. I still haven't turned the power off. I'm not sure. I've been under the assumption that that'll screw me up big time if I do. Find the random spot that you can click. After doing all that, I don't know, I'm not going to criticize it too much for being obscure, because presumably all of that is in whatever link we were supposed to get from this, but I have no idea what it wants. Was that there before? It looks like something's peeking out from around a corner. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay, maybe this is the right track? Have we helped you now? I don't want to click on those guys because I really don't want to screw all this up now. Definitely not going to mess with that again. Oh! Okay, so that just changes the moment we got. So much of this is like you just have to happen to click on something at the right time. I mean, I've narrowed it down by I keep going back to things that like I haven't touched in a while. But man, like this would be a crazy revelation had I not spent so much time just trying to figure this out. Look at that, it's recursive. The frame repeats over and over. It's not just a doorway. Oh no, I don't think I had enough RAM for this game. You feel weird. Why is it daytime all of a sudden? I definitely do feel weird. No, this isn't just daytime, this is dream daytime. The way it falls in patches over the walls, the shadows to the sides, the sudden absence of the flash. It had been so integral to the style that now that it's gone, everything just feels off. This is how it all started for me. 2005. The door is locked. There's so many levels of abstraction because we're trying to learn, presumably, about this boy and the people we couldn't save. But that also means there's things we don't understand about our character or our perspective. It's weird, because in a way we are playing as ourselves, looking at this compilation. But also through the eyes of these photos, we are playing as the creator. Locked. We can go through here. Or we can go upstairs. Let's start with the ground floor. That's French. Something video. Huh, look, there's like a wreath or something, like a... I don't know, but we've seen items like that in the facility. Everybody's gone for the moment. And I can't really draw any kind of major connection. We just pushed a button, a switch on the wall. It's seemingly done nothing. And we can't put it back. But yeah, I can't draw a direct link, but coat hangers keep coming up as well. Another switch. Maybe something happens after we've hit them all. It's daylight out of half the house and nighttime out the other. Unless those are just some really good blinds. A pawn. Which we add to our inventory. Seeing it in snapshots really is like recalling memories, or even like recalling a dream. It's like we have bits and pieces, but we can't quite connect them, only now it's someone else's memories. Someone who is shown to be unreliable. There's another switch, and there's another. Wow, they are in the most random places. This is a really cool blending of light and dark. Shadows around the corners into these rooms, always feeling like there's something just out of sight. Let me tell you in this moment why this game interested me when I saw the screenshots. It's because recently I've started to describe liminal spaces as almost feeling like old snapshots. A photo of a familiar place, but one which you can't really remember anything beyond that context of the photo. This game is that concentrated. Alright, well, I'm going to assume that that's the answer to some sort of puzzle. I can always make that assumption. Click that. I don't know if that's a switch or an outlet, but it seems like we're on a scavenger hunt now. Switch. A plush. A plush that's seen better days from the look of it. With a question mark beside it. Oh, should I not have touched that? Something tells me somebody didn't appreciate me going through their stuff. So many beds for such a small family. Okay, there's more over here. A switch. The dust is settled. Time has passed. So I'm starting to wonder just which of these photos were found by Baptiste. Don't forget the description. It's important in things like this to not forget things that were established towards the beginning. There's that switch. What would happen if we were to go back? If you leave this place, you won't be able to come back. Okay, I'll take your word. I'm gonna press N for no. Flicking every switch along the way like it's some compulsion. Wow, there's so much here. You're not allowed to see that. It's the simplicity in the denial. They tried to forget. Why was opening that door like a jump scare? The angles of this, the blandness to the images. A flash can create harsh shadows if there's something like what we see on the left, but otherwise it completely washes them out. It makes a room look almost full bright, and that's so unnatural. Nothing could ever replace the times we had together. Looks like a love note. You found a teddy bear. It looks like we're only missing about 3 other items. Making sure to look everywhere. That stain, damage, something on the wall looks mighty suspicious. Stains on the floor as well, like water damage. It's weird, the phone is like turned backwards. Nothing else here for us though. I can fix it, I promise. But we don't get to see what's even in the frame. Unless we back out, we see it's a photo of 2 people. Hasn't been used in years. The reflection. No description for me of any of this. Like you're blocking it out. Emergency sirens. There's nothing. Well, except a vacuum cleaner. Can flick that switch. Alright, let's get you, and you, and you. And you. Do not watch. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm scanning the reflection in the screen for anything sitting on the bed behind me. That was my first thought. Old feelings. Yeah, this room is decorated in a much older style as well. Whoa. Are these just mirrors on doors? That's insane. Makes the room look huge. Ah, there's a switch over here. I'm wondering if anything's gonna happen when we get them all to let us know, or if we won't know until we take the gamble and go back. Oh, there's a little thing right there. I'm gonna take that as the sign that I've done it. That I got them all. Almost missed it. There's also, I noticed on the way up here, right, there was this staircase that I forgot about. Up here feels so much more modern. It is unsettling to say the least. Look like children's rooms. Missing Carol. You said you had sworn it was her hair, but that you couldn't really be sure. That was in your breakdown when we reached the end of that hallway. We just did something. Oh no. We didn't get to see the other room. What is this? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pick up the cone of significance. Love. And we're back out to here. But I didn't get to see what was in that room. There was no warning for that. What do I do with all this stuff? And I think we're... Well, the only thing that's actually in here, from my experience, is just waiting for it to affect us. Oh, this better not send me back. I saw some... We never saw that through before. I left because I thought it was killing me. Let's play hide and seek. Watch me from above. We got matches. Watch me from above. Well, to me that sounds like... Hang on. You said watch me from above. To me that sounds like over here. Saw your shadow for just a second. Yes, that's what I thought. You can hide me under your stairs or your floorboards all you want. I'll forever be here. Shh. Was that another hint? Under stairs? No, perhaps not. But you're, like, taunting me now directly. Wait. There's something off to the right here that is different. I'm just looking in the stairs area, because what else is there? Oh my god. I would be way more creeped out by that visual if it weren't so stupid how we find it. I tried clicking on the stairs so many times, there's nothing. We have to look off to the right and click on the concrete at that particular point in the stairs. A play from the audience's point of view. Okay, no, I know that one. That one I can do. We saw it on the search for you. God, look at you. The less detail we see, the more unnerving you are. You're doing something you might regret, but it's something you can't change. Shh. Cartridge. Well, that means we have at least 3 more things to find. Cartridge like, where would we use a cartridge? Depends on what kind of cartridge it is. Got all these items, garden tools, fryer, matches, and a cartridge and a pear tree at this point. I associate cartridge with the game machine. Nope. Oh god. Wait, really? That was a shot in the dark. This thing doesn't take cartridges. Is that a key that I'm meant to take? Oh, we're playing. Oh god, this is hard on the eyes. Okay, where are we going? Finding you once again. Nope, in fact, I can't even get close. Let's continue the hunt. I didn't know you were a gamer. It can be hard to tell where I can even walk. You, we found 2 instances of you. You had to feel guilt just to remember why you started this? Okay, so we can talk to you with enter. Okay, well, we always find you at the edges, so let's hug the walls and just grab you as you come then. You cannot escape the program. You are a target. Is that program ROAM0120? Implying that we've been directly interfacing with the creator? Oh my. That's enough out of you. That reminded me for a second of Who's Lila? Maybe more than one person trapped within. I'm not seeing anything else, though. What's this? We got the matchbox. Wow, my eyes are having a hard time adjusting to this. But once more, the age-old question, now what? People are saying, and I am taking their word for it, that it is now okay to shut off the electricity, because we've done everything we needed to with that. That's off, and I'm thinking, without knowing more than that, maybe we can try those doors that shocked us earlier? Doors locked. I don't remember which they were. So many items that we've just never actually needed. Doors locked. Door does not jolt us, right. We opened these actually earlier. But what these do now, I'm not sure. Emitter. Okay, now that sounds important. We didn't even get to see what it looks like to get some hint as to its nature. But we have it now. I'm going to avoid... I'm going to look basically everywhere before I go back down that hallway again. Alright, I'll be honest, I'm just following along with the YouTubers at this point. Alexis Rambles, you are amazing because this video would not be getting done in any reasonable length of time without you. We have to come in here and click this. You started a fire, turn on the light. And we got a bell. And it really is just a series of things where it's like, how would you ever figure that out? Like, the solution to one puzzle doesn't often logically follow on to the next one. So now we need to turn on the light. This is a random thought, and I'm gonna be so happy if this is actually what it is. Hang on, back. Yeah. I just randomly thought of the light all the way from the beginning. You see what I mean about not forgetting the earlier elements? Click. Gun, 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 gun. Most of this game was presumably made in French, but I see this part is actually speaking American. Escape this prison. We got the gun. We got the gun, now what do we do with it? You know, I hadn't even pointed out before, that is an old carriage. I think part of what I love about this so much is that it's kind of unclear just what this place is even supposed to be. It's very dream logic-y in that it doesn't really seem to have a consistent purpose. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually stitched together from multiple real locations. And if so, bravo, because that is an excellent use of the gameplay in snapshots medium. A way to make this place seem so wrong and surreal, even while nothing obvious is changing. I find that way more interesting than like the non-Euclidean geometry that a lot of 3D games use. Once more, I had to refer to YouTube to figure out that I had to click over here. And it looks like we're on the run now. But we're on the run again, like when we climbed through the wall before. There's something over there, some kind of stand. That seems a bit bright to be another dust particle in the air. It's like at this point we're just firing off the flash in order to see, to light the way ahead of us. And the dust is only growing more numerous, if we can even call it dust at this point. A cassette. Originally, the plan was to raid the basement. We were very underprepared. We had just located the building, and we wanted to act quick. I think somehow they knew we had found out. They knew about our plan. Because when we arrived at the scene, the building had been deserted. We then realized how big the place really was. There wasn't just a single boy in a room. There were dozens of other cells. And there was a rotting corpse in every single one of them. We were absolutely devastated. When we got to the last room, the one that had been broadcasted, we came face to face with a humanoid figure. We could barely recognize him. He was rotting, but he was still alive. Not much remains to show us. I didn't know what to do. He didn't look aggressive at first. I was stunned. I didn't say anything. Then Julia entered the room, alerted by my lack of responses. They were calling out, but you were stunned into silence. She saw him crawling on the floor. She freaked out and shot him dead. Every night when I go to sleep, I remember one thing. He wasn't screaming at us. He was screaming in pain. I swear I heard him beg for help. He was begging for help, and we shot him. They decided to leave after this massive failure. But I wish I could have stayed. When we left, I took one last look at him, bleeding to death. And I swear to God I saw him breathe. For years I've wanted to go back, until recently I decided to do so. The whole place was abandoned, but it looked so different. The boy was not in the room anymore. I decided to burn this place down, to finally put the memories to rest. But as the flames started to spread, I found a lock of hair in a pot. I hadn't checked the tunnel. I'll forever feel guilty. I'll dismantle the program one day. No, we should have gone back. So that was ROAM0120. and it all sort of made sense by the end. I really like how this was able to be so dreamlike and surreal, and yet it seems like the story is actually concrete, actually literally true. But there's more to this. The idea that we're having paranoid delusions, the idea that others are trying to discredit us. So maybe there is some larger conspiracy, or maybe that is just a result of doing the wrong things while trying to go through all this. We're so terrified of them getting out. Some aspects of this may have been our own constructs. I need to get out of the screen because that wind is deafening. So here's what I'm thinking. Maybe this time, maybe we have to get this. Recorded activity from the boy, all meant for broadcasting. Last entry is from 2020. There are so many others in the building, but they all perished. And you're certain that there are so many other buildings. You claim it was Carol's hair, but you'll never be certain. Being able to... Okay, I don't think that's going to net us a different ending then. It's crazy. There's like a sci-fi side to this, a paranormal side, and a mystery detective side. Not to mention psychological horror thrown in on top of that. So for a game with not very much going on moment to moment, for a game that is literally still, there's a lot going on in this story, and I really like how it manages to explain a lot of things while still leaving so many questions. And it's fitting, isn't it? It's fitting for something that only allows us to see it in bits and pieces at a time, little snapshots, still moments. Alright, this time we're gonna go through here. Crib. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there's really anything. So Carol was one of the missing. Yeah, the family home of one of the missing, of course. If we go past you, there's another one. Like something from a 1930s monster movie. Alright, we've got the bell, we've got the emitter, and we've got the gun. Now, instead of leaving, it's way too hot in here for you to go inside. Maybe it just has to be when we get the emitter, I don't know. I kind of thought the bell, the gun, all of that would be needed, and in fact there's so many things here that I'm just not really sure what their purpose is. And since most of the online discussion for this is in French, I'm just gonna say for now, that was ROAM0120, and I've said most of what I was gonna say about it already, but man, the story is super creepy and very ambiguous, while not falling for the trap of trying to do the it was all in your head thing, or at least not directly doing so, leaving room that it might not be. There are so many aspects that make more sense on a replay, and it's funny that a game that took me like 4.5 hours to get through the first time actually only takes about 15 minutes to speedrun through when you actually know what you're doing. Alright, so I went back to see if I could go down that hallway with the emitter. If you try and go in when it's still on the 47, like 3S and all that, it doesn't work. It'll tell you that you can't. It seems like this is telling me that I can't move on either. So that answers my next question, which was going to be what happens if we try to leave without all of the items. I left the plush behind in the house. So that's not here. Yeah, no, if you leave that house without everything, it will absolutely just stick you right here. Can't go back into the building. Can go back in general. But, yeah, you basically brick your game if you don't have everything. It's just that you're extremely likely to have everything by then. Maybe we needed to collect all the evidence in order to gain closure to allow us to leave? Because that's what this whole expedition is really about, it seems. We learned literally what happened with us, but there's still so much more. There's these entities that seemingly function on dream logic. There's flashing back to that house, seemingly the house of one of the victims, but where did we get those photos from? It throws so many names at us that we have no way of understanding who they even are. There's no context, but I think that, and the story being told through photos, is why it's so dreamlike. I think this format allows it to tap into that type of of that type of mindset in a way that almost no other medium can. I mean, it's possible that there is much greater context for this that I'm not seeing, things that are mostly outside of the game or that I failed to interpret because I played it over such a long time. I mean, I have no idea what was in that video that was supposed to lead us to the phrase "they fled the scene." But then again, it also works on its own level, like, in the way that I myself engaged with it, with the software itself, with the program, which is itself stated to be of great importance. It worked. And it's because I almost interpreted it as like a playable nightmare. Because on the level of dream logic, I think my favorite part of this whole thing, and to me the scariest part for sure, was after we messed with the typewriter. That phrase just comes to us of such importance, but so fragmented, so divorced from context. And then we go to these disconnected objects and touch them, and we just know that something has happened because that sound plays. And finally we find that one spot on the wall, and a crack forms, and that eerie music plays, and we know that something is here with us. And it's only when we look up into the distance, in the far shadows, we see someone looking down at us, and it just abruptly ends. That, to me, is the true, like, pure primal fear of dream logic. I didn't need context for that to work. Maybe there is some, but it didn't need it. But ultimately what defines this game is what drew me to it in the first place. This. A bright flash, a dark background, and a sense of dissonant nostalgia for these spaces. Each image divorced from context, yet connected by the program itself. Its major emphasis is on the separation that makes old photographs so creepy. There's still a lot of mystery here, the promise of other facilities like this one, the tunnel that goes for miles that we never even got to see inside. But who knows, maybe the point is to leave you feeling slightly unsatisfied, like there's still some loose ends. After all, the protagonist certainly does. This whole game is so dense in its atmosphere. It feels like there's a weight on top of you for the entire time. It's like flipping through crime scene photos, but you know to be crime scene photos one by one, only you don't know what the crime actually is, and you're just imagining what gruesome thing you're going to see the next time you flip a photo over. And, you know, even though I'm not a fan of the overall medium, I loved the way this was presented. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.